Last module, the code was a sealed black box. This module, we pry it open. Welcome to white box testing. Now you can see the code and that changes everything about how you test. Don't worry if you're not a hardcore coder. The outline calls this a basic understanding, and that's exactly right. As a manual tester, you don't need to write these tests, but understanding them makes you sharper. There's a live coverage demo in this lesson where you light up the code branches yourself. So white box testing is the mirror image of black box. Here you test with full knowledge of the code. You can see the if statements, the loops, the branches, and you design your test specifically to run them. So the whole game in white box is coverage, proving that your tests actually executed the code. Black box could not promise that. White box can measure it precisely, and that's the superpower that this style adds. You will also hear it being called clear box, glass box, or structural testing. All the same idea you can see inside. Now, when people talk about white box, they talk about coverage, and there are four flavors you should know by name. The first one is code coverage, which is an umbrella term. What percentage of the code did your tests run? 80% coverage means a fifth of the code never gets executed during testing. Next is statement coverage, which answers was every single line executed at least once, and this is the most basic level. Next is branch coverage. It's stricter for every decision, every if. Did you test both the true and the false outcome? This is the one we'll demo live. And path coverage, the strictest. Every possible route through the code, end to end, thorough. But the number of paths explodes fast, which ties back to the principle that exhaustive testing is impossible. Now we'll have a look at a simple example that demonstrates branch coverage. As you can see that there's a code under test here. If the age is 18 or over, then you are eligible, otherwise not eligible. So a black box tester might just try one age and move on. But a white box tester looks at the code and says, hey, there are two branches. I am not done until I have run both. So we might want to enter the age as 25, and as we entered, then it should output us eligible. Good, but I'm only at the 50% branch coverage. Now I'll input age is equal to 10, which happens to cross the false or the else path. So the false branch runs, not eligible executes, and now I have hit both the branches, hence 100% branch coverage. So you can see how we are using different inputs to ensure that the different branches are being noticed. And notice that age is equal to 18 value. The exact boundary is a whole technique that we'll be covering in another module. So you might want to hang in for a bit till we reach there. Now, when we talk about who performs white box testing, so since it's the ability to read the code, it lands with people closer to development. Developers often wear unit tests for their own code. Automation engineers, they build automated checks, and SDET, software development engineers in test. It's a hybrid role that codes and tests, and one of the best paid parts in QA worth looking into. So if you're starting as a manual tester, you're not expected to write white box tests on day one. But here's why this module matters anyway. When you understand coverage, you start to sense where black box testing has blind spots. The branches your inputs might never trigger. The instinct makes you a noticeably better tester. With this, we come to the end of our module. So a quick recap: white box testing uses knowledge of the code. Coverage is the goal. Code, branch, statement, and path. And if else is not fully tested until you have hit both outcomes. And it is usually developers, automation engineers, and SDETs who do it. So if lighting up those code branches made coverage finally make sense, subscribe because next we blend both the worlds. Gray box testing gives you partial knowledge of the system, and it's how a huge amount of real API and database testing actually gets done. Comment, would you rather test as a black box or white box tester? There's no wrong answer, I'm just curious. See you in module 4. Thank you.